Welcome to Options 101, where I share with you some insight about the basics of trading options. And in today's video, what we're going to do is we're going to take a look at a simple way to build an options trading watch list. So if you're kind of brand new, you don't know where to go or how to build an options trading watch list, we're going to go ahead and cover that in this section. And you can learn a lot more also on our website at tradersfly.com. There's a ton to learn over there, from books, courses, to even one-on-one sessions specifically with me. All right, let's go ahead and get started into this and go look at building an options watch list. So I'm going to go ahead and use the Thinkorswim platform here. So this is a simulated platform, but it does the same stuff. So we can go ahead and use this as far as criteria goes. But if you use another platform, it's completely okay. So my goal here is to just show you some of the criteria we're going to be using. So I'm going to go to the scan tab right over here. And then what we'll do is we'll go ahead and look up some of the things and criteria we want. So one of the first things I'm going to do is switch my scan. Normally it's going to be somewhere around all stocks. And if I scan this whole list, what it's going to do is give me like 3,790 stocks. So what I will do is actually switch it to where we are looking at not all stocks here, but we go down to the public RNW, and we're going to go down to search for the weeklies. So now we'll be looking at the weeklies. And the whole point behind this is that we're checking stocks that trade weekly options. So this is step one. If they don't trade weekly options, the stock is usually less liquid, or you'll have some flexibility problems. So if I go to like CMG right here, you could see it trades weeklies. If I go to something else like AutoZone, it does not have weeklies. So it actually limits me in what I can trade. If I go to SPY, which is the spiders here, you can see we've got a ton of option contracts, which basically expire almost every single day. That means that it's very liquid. It also means I can trade options in all sorts of different expiration dates. For example, this one's July 18th, 19th, 2021. But if you go to AutoZone, for example, you can only trade them here July 21st with 9 days to go, August 18th with 37 days to go, and September 15th with 65 days to go until that option expires. So there's basically, you're limited when you don't have weekly options. So we're going to first scan for those weekly options. Now, the second part, what we're going to do is we're just going to put in a stock last price. So I'm going to go ahead and do 20 to 10,000, and you can do the scan. So now what we've got is actually only 439 results, because these are the ones that trade weeklies, and they're between $20 and $10,000. Now, in your case, you might say, you know what, I like trading the cheaper stocks. So you might say, okay, I go between 10 and let's say $80 a share. Something like this is what you're looking for. And now you've got a lot less results. You've got 299. Or you might say, hey, my sweet spot is between $20 and like $60. And that's totally okay. You've got 173 stocks. So that's fine. We can leave it like that. You get to pick. It's just how wide of an array you want to make it. So maybe you can say, hey, I like the cheaper stocks for maybe verticals. I like the more expensive stocks for iron condors. Depending on the types of trades you're doing, this criteria, you might want to bend it a little bit. And of course, you can add more criteria. I'm just trying to give you kind of a simple approach to trading this stuff and scanning for these things so you can kind of make it your own. All right, so let's go ahead now and take a look at the next step. So step 2 would be to eliminate the low liquidity stocks by checking for volume. And the way we do that is we can go ahead and add a scan for volume. If you don't have this, just go ahead and hit add filter right here. You could say stock, and now I've got something here. So stock, and then I'm going to go into volume, switch that to volume. And you can say, you know what, I want to do about a million shares traded. And I'm doing based on shares, not kind of option contracts. So we'll do 1 million shares traded. Okay. And then maximum of whatever. So now we'll scan this, and we're waiting for the results. Let's see what happens here. Maybe it'll take a little bit of time, but let's see if it goes through. I'm basically trying to make sure that it's doing a good scan to eliminate any of the problems or issues that we've got. All right, so there we go. It populated some of the results I've got 27 results out of there, and we're now got stocks between 20 and 60. So if I look at the last price, there's the 20, and I can resort, there's the about 60. And then the volume here, you can see between 1 million and almost 2 million there. Now that's because I've got 2 million I put in for a faster search, but we could maybe go like a lot more in volume. And now there we go. The speed populated a little quicker. So we've got 72 million here, and we've got Carvana in that mix as well. So now we've got 161 stocks. So basically tweak the criteria right here to what you want, but I'd say 1 million plus is a good starting point. And we've got stocks between 20 and 60. So we've got a handful of results. So now you could go through this list and say, hey, which ones do I like trading? Which ones do I don't? If there's one that you don't know the name of or something weird, like you might say, hey, you know what? I have no clue what APA corporation.com is. I mean, it trades liquid, but if you don't know it, maybe you might want to avoid it because you can't relate to it. Maybe there's some investment funds like ETFs over here that, again, maybe you're just not, you just don't understand what's going on with them. So again, maybe you might avoid it. So this is how you manually comb through this watch list and then say, you know what? Here's my list. At the end of it, maybe you get 20, 50, 70 stocks, and now you've got yourself a watch list. And then you could save that watch list and make it your own. Now, how do we go ahead and save that watch list? Well, you could go in and we'll go all the way to the right here and go save as watch list. And you can say, well, I'm going to call this, let's say, Lion King. I always just name things a little bit different all over the place. So I've got myself a Lion King watch list. So now I can go over here and say, okay, well, what about my personal watch list? And there's my Lion King watch list. And now I've got it. And now I could say, you know what? I don't like this stock over here. So I can just delete it. Or I don't like this stock, so I can delete it. Some of these things you'll fine tune based on, what you'll do is you'll fine tune it based on maybe things you've traded, or as you look over here and you click around, you say, hey, this stock, like what do you have? What do you not have? What is the volume here? And also maybe the bid-ask spread. If the bid-ask spread is kind of wide, you might say, I might not do it. If it's got hard to borrow and you like to short, you might not do it. So all of these things can kind of, you can fine tune and tweak. So in either case, as you go through all of these tools, there's a lot of tools in here from looking at your scans and watch lists and so on. But my point here in what you're doing is that you can also put out your full list when you go to Market Watch right at the top, go to quotes, switch this to personal. We're going to go to Lion King. And now we've got our big watch list, and I can customize these columns. I've got 52-week high, 52-week low, customize that. And now I've got some things that I could, change. Maybe I don't want to see the bid size or the ask size or the bid or the ask. Maybe I just want to see the last price. I don't need to see the high. I don't need to see the low. I just need to see the last price. And now I can hit OK, and that will reconfigure some of these columns, and you might want to change these things around. So there is kind of your watch list right there as you've got it, is your Lion King watch list. And, you could tweak it to your heart's desire as you start sorting things, doing things, and working with it. But the point being here is that we're looking for kind of two main things. The first main thing is check stocks that trade weekly options. And then the second thing is eliminate the problem ones that have low liquidity, check for a higher volume. And now you could build out your watch list. Now we'll share with you one other tip and tidbit with this, and that is you can actually do a search for certain things, and that search will be on, we're going to go on to Google here. I want to pull it up for you. We'll go in and we'll pull up Google, and we're going to go to CBOE most active. So you can also do this on the Chicago Board's options exchange. Just pull up the CBOE most active list, okay? And there's a couple of ways to get there. Sometimes it can be confusing as heck. And what they'll do is they'll tell you kind of the most active calls and puts here. There's also a way to get the historical data. So go over here to this historical data right here. Now the website might change and you might need to look around. And then we're going to go to, let's say, historical options data. And I'm going to go into, let's say, CBOE. I'm going to go for the month. and we will go in for, well, that's fine. Let's do that range. We'll do all symbols actually, CBOE, monthly, and for that year, for the month of, let's say June, and now we can download that report. Now, after that report downloads, what you'll be able to do is give it a second, and then once it downloads, we'll be able to check this report out, and there it is. Check it out, and now I can see, hey, which ones are actually most liquid directly from the Chicago Boards of Option Exchange. So this is what you actually want to do. So options class, underlying, so here it is, and then the volume. So the way to do this is, why don't we sort this by, let's see, can we sort it? Not this way. We'll have to do this, and then data, and then we'll sort, and we will sort by volume, and we will go to largest to smallest. And now you can see which ones are traded the most. And we've got SPXW. I'm gonna actually just hit Control Plus on this, since Excel should allow me to just zoom in, and that should be a little bit better. So now, rather than me zooming, I'll just zoom into Excel. I've got SPXW, I got SPY, I've got the VIX. So these are highly liquid options. Then I've got Tesla, and that's for that month of June. Now we're in July, so I'm checking the last month. And these are the ones that people are trading at. And since they're trading these ones, this is fantastic and this is great. So this is exactly what we're looking for. NVIDIA, AMD, HYG, SoFi, EM, Microsoft, Meta, Google, Neo. All this stuff, and you could build out the watch list. Now, the problem with this is it doesn't tell you if they also trade weeklies, but it's kind of a secondary list you could use to double check some things and check out, hey, against your other list, and now you could compose a list that makes sense for you. And with time, you might delete some tickers here and there, and you'll fine tune that process over a few months or something like that. So anyway, I hope that helps. Truly appreciate you sticking with me. I will share with you a little insight. If you're interested in checking out our options jumpstarting course, just go to tradingwebinars.co. It's not .com, it's .co, tradingwebinars.co. You can search for it and kind of pull it up. And what you'll be able to do is kind of get started with options trading and give you a little bit of insight to, hey, how do options work? How do you make money? And much more in depth in our little mini course. So truly appreciate you sticking with me. There's a free gift there if you want to join there and take a look. And it's a nice little mini series. So appreciate you. Feel free to grab some of those freebies. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next video.